Welcome back to another segment of Manifest with SI Power. I hope everyone's doing wonderful out there. And this session is going to be very impactful, very powerful. You're going to feel it. But before I jump into the content, I want to say if there's anybody out there that this material is resonating with and you want to find out more about me or you feel called to work with me in some capacity, my email address is in all the long form videos. Just reach out to me and I'll get in contact with you. So I want to go deep in this one right here, but I want to do it with simplicity. So this is going to be an assumption, and this is going to be example one. I don't know if I'll be able to do two or not on this particular video, but definitely want to do this one, right? And so I want to give an example of an ideal position being sought by a person. Just want to give an example, right? Nothing's drawn to scale, nothing's cast in stone, but I want to give you an example. So, assumptions is how things transpire in this world. What do I mean? People, circumstances, events, conditions, definite chief aims, milestones. So Neville said an assumption, though at first it be false, if persisted in, it hardens into fact or becomes solidity or becomes a tangible physical result. So I want to give an example of an ideal position, career position being sought. Here is the underlying or core assumption. A person says, I don't interview well. I'm not going to do good on the interview. I have no chance at this position, but I need this opportunity and income level. See, you are a prophet and you're prophesying what's going to happen, and you're going to be proven right. Your prophecy is going to come to fruition 100 out of 100 times. I guarantee it. So we go further into this, and you will experience things that you can sensitize, that you can see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. Okay? So fast forward. What happened? You do not get chosen as a candidate to move forward in the hiring process. Why? Because you was not the identity who already had it. And your underlying and core assumption was not just you don't interview well, but you did not feel qualified for the position. You did not feel enough for the position. You did not feel worthy of the position. And you did not feel deserving of the position. How do we know this? Because you didn't get the position, right? So with that being said, you could have very easily said, I know I got it. And you could have went in there confident, but you chose to replay stories from the past and not to be present in the right here, right now. You chose not to be present in the right here, right now and say, I'm going to embrace this opportunity and I'm going to do the best that I can possibly do, right? And what happened? More times than not, I would say 9 out of 10 times, a person coming in there with that mindset as that identity, with those type of underlying core assumptions, beliefs about themselves, expectancy on the situation, is not going to get the position. Period. Now I want to go to example 2, right? And we're still on the same subject, but we're going to a different subject matter. And this one's going to be finance, money. All right. We're still talking about core assumptions, identity, expectancy, how things work for you, right? So listen to what Neville said. An assumption, though it be false, so at first it's false, it's a lie. If persisted in or allowed inside your head to replay and replay and replay until you believe it and you accept it as truth, it hardens into fact. It becomes solidity. It becomes solid. It becomes a tangible physical result that you can five sensitize. What do you mean? You can see it, you can touch it or feel it, you can smell it, you can hear it, you can taste it. So, what is the underlying and core assumptions that probably, for sure, 8 out of every 10 people have about money? They picture themselves running out of money. They say things to themselves like, I'm always broke, I'm poor, I don't have the money, I never have any money, I always run out of money, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent, I don't know how I'm going to pay my car payment and car insurance. Then what happens? They're in survival mode, they're in fear, worry, and doubt, and what happens? They bring more trauma on themselves. What happens? They start getting notice letters to vacate. They start getting threats on eviction. They start getting harassing phone calls and text messages, threats about their car being picked up. What happened? Now they're in the sympathetic nervous system and everything is out of control. They're not eating. They can barely get any rest, barely sleep. Stress, right? That's what this dimension is about. That's what this dispensation is about. What happens with these assumptions, right? You are the prophet of your life, your reality, your video game. And these things play out because of your epigenetics programming, right? You saw your family arguing, fussing, fighting, breaking up, getting divorced because of money. So you think that money is hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is hard to come by. Money is scarce. Money is evil. You have all of these stories playing in the background. And as it unfolds, you being the prophet, 8 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times, 100 out of 100 times, at least 80% minimum, 80 to 98%, this stuff plays out where the person comes up short, ends up getting the car repoed, getting evicted. Why? Because they're not present in the now. They always relating back to the past, what happened in the past, right? That's what memory is about. It's always about the past and bringing your past to your future. You struggled to pay rent last month. You don't know how you're going to pay it this month. So it's going to be like last month. It's going to come down to the wire. Either you're going to barely make it and immediately start panicking about how you're going to do it the next month, or you're not going to make it and you're going to get evicted. Right? So eviction and a car repo is probably more highly likely for you than you providing a solution and saying that I'm tired of this mess. I'm calling all my power back. I'm going to stand on my power and I'm going to figure this out. I'm fixing to become unfuckwittable instead of traumatized and depressed and feeling sorry for yourself, begging family members for money that is going through the exact same thing you're going through. This is how powerful identity is, folks. This is how powerful assumptions are, folks. This is how powerful the law of expectation is, folks. You are the power. You are the source. If you accept bullshit, bullshit's going to happen to you and your life's going to stink. Right? But if you step in your power and you start commanding shit, you start stepping on shit, everything's going to get some 8-ball rearranging. But I don't know if you have the boldness, if you have the courage to really step into your power and use your mind in your speech, right? Because your mind supersedes everything, or it can. But will you make it? Will you have the discipline to regulate it and deliberately choose where you're putting your God consciousness instead of acting like you this little human being and you saying you can't pay this $1,500 rent, you can't pay this $1,800 rent, you can't pay this $2,100 rent, you can't make this $550 car note, you can't make this $600 car note, you can't make this $700 car note. You got to direct your power. You got to direct your force. If you think that you're just this little avatar, this little body, and you keep operating as such, these low-level things will continually happen to you. But if you step into your power and you start commanding shit, you'll see that you've been bamboozled all this time and you could have been doing this. So I just wanted to give these examples, right, on an ideal position being sought and the underlying and core assumptions of why the position is not seized, and then giving you the examples of why you don't have no money, why you keep picturing yourself running out of money. You keep telling these stories. Money come in slow and go out fast. Money is scarce. Only certain people can have money. Nobody in my family's never had money. As long as you continue to let these type of beliefs become solidity, you're going to have these problems. If you've been having problems with money,